Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land, where we take a look at those top stories making headlines in Israel every Monday to Thursday. And I wish we could start today's broadcast with better news. But in the second terror attack in as many days, 27-year-old American-Israeli Ilan Ganeles was brutally murdered as he was driving near Jericho late yesterday afternoon. A graduate of Columbia University, Ganeles was in Israel for a wedding. He will be buried in Ra'anana tomorrow at 1 o'clock as we wait for his parents to arrive for his funeral. May his memory be blessed. A manhunt is still underway for his killers. Meanwhile, last night, settlers in Huwara continued to clash with IDF soldiers throwing stones at them. One soldier reported that a settler tried to ram him with his car. Prime Minister Netanyahu, President Herzog, and the IDF Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi have all condemned the ongoing settler violence in the town of Huwara. And earlier today, IDF Chief of Staff Halevi has said that he will conduct a thorough investigation. President Herzog and Prime Minister Netanyahu pleaded with Israelis not to take any kind of action into their own hands. President Herzog said, "This is not who we are." And the Prime Minister said that it is not for Israeli citizens to carry out any kind of justice or revenge attacks. It is for the military and the police to bring the terrorist perpetrators to justice. Last night, Avi Maoz of the far-right Noam party handed his resignation as a deputy minister in the Prime Minister's office to Prime Minister Netanyahu. He stated that it was his belief that the current government will not follow through on coalition promises. However, he said that he will stay on as a member of the coalition government to ensure that the planned judicial overhauls will go through. And on the subject of the planned judicial overhauls, tomorrow there will be protests across the country. Israelis have been warned not to use the major roadways and arteries as they could be blocked as people make their ways to and from a protest, and that some protesters could block the streets. 21 were arrested on Saturday night for trying to block the intersection of the Ayalon Highway. Meanwhile, Israel's military intelligence elite 8200 unit, or Shmone Matayim, as it is called here in Israel, issued an open letter to the government, which was published in the Israeli daily Huwara earlier today. They stated that they will not turn up for their reserve duty should the judicial overhaul come to pass. They were very clear to state they represent a diverse group of Israelis and represent a variety of political and religious opinions. Meanwhile, Israelis have raised over 1 million shekels to aid Palestinians affected by the riots that took place in Huwara on a Sunday night. Now, this was at the instigation of a member of the Labour Party, MK Fink, who said that it is his belief that a little bit of light can drown out the darkness. According to reports, the intention was to raise about 30,000 shekels to help those affected. But as of this morning, the GoFundMe fundraiser was at about 1 million shekels. This goes to show that Israelis, when it comes to our Palestinian neighbors, we do not view them as the enemy, and that this kind of outreach, which you won't hear in the mainstream media, but you'll definitely hear here on the Israel Brief, is an indication of the true Israel. And that brings me to the end of today's top stories. Don't forget to visit our website at www.layoftheland.online. We have an article by Pamela Ngubane all about South Africa's foreign policy with regards to Israel. Is South Africa on the right track? Well, you decide. If you want to drop us any kind of comment, please do so at the bottom of this video, either on Facebook at Lottel's site. Like us, follow us, and don't forget to share our content. You know, with all the Facebook changes, it affects our ability to get the news out to you. And on YouTube, our channel is at The Israel Brief. You guys know what to do. Like, share, and subscribe. Please subscribe. We want to really get our community growing big and strong. And we're on Twitter at Lay of the Land 5. I'm Rolene Marks. This is The Israel Brief. Don't forget to join me again tomorrow for your top stories.